Hello and welcome to Gear-Splaining. We're covering the Dreadbox Typhon. This is the filter video. Dreadbox Typhon, in my previous video, I outlined what I think is the killer app, the killer feature on here, these two knobs, filter time, amp time. Today we're going to cover filter itself, low pass filter, resonance, the envelope, how filter time here works, the button in order to be able to access the dedicated filter, as well as the high pass filter located in effect slot 3, and how to make that high pass filter an envelope filter. We're also going to play with filter FM, which is unique to this Dreadbox, and we're going to make sure that we design some pretty cool sounds as we go. I already shot that part of the video, so spoiler alert, the bass sound I came up with is actually really awesome. I'm really proud of it. I'm probably going to use it in my stream tonight. So enjoy the video. If you find it useful, hit subscribe, hit like, hit share, and let's get into it. All right, welcome to my second Typhon video. What we're going to do here right now is we're going to take a look at the filter page, the set page, and we're going to take a look at the trick for the high pass filter so that it can become not just a high pass filter that you were able to use, but one that's triggerable by an envelope like you'd expect. So I've created a groove and we're going to work off of it for this. Also in companion with this, I'm using Beatstep Pro to sequence, and I have the Roland MC101 over here providing the beat. Here is the beat. Alright, I created this custom patch for this. And we're going to go back to the front page. So what we're talking about right now is the filter. And there are two filters on here. One is analog and one is digital. It was added with firmware 1.2. The analog is what we're going to cover first. So just to quickly go over this patch, one of the things that you're hearing on here that's really interesting to me is the ensemble effect. When you turn it up to 100%, it sounds mental. That's just a quick pro tip. Also, here's the whole beat. But since this isn't about the MC101, I'm really going to keep that low pass filter on it down pretty low, so it's just providing some tempo based context. Nice little pings. Alright, so first thing is the filter for this is attached to a dedicated envelope. That envelope can be accessed by hitting this button. As I went over in the last video, the killer app of Typhon are these two performance knobs, filter time and amp time. We're just going to cover filter time right now. So you hit that button and then you can switch here between amp and VCF. We're going to keep it on VCF. I have everything on catch mode, not jump. So have to get everything there. And now it's all zeroed out. So this is, and I have EG level all the way up, which is controlled over here. It's also a resonant filter. That's right here. Check out how snappy that envelope is. Okay, so that filter envelope is really snappy. It has AD, SNR, and then this is time, which is a multiplication. If you have it set to 12 o'clock, it's 1, or it's multiplied by whatever that is, going up to times 6, which makes it extend out quite a bit. Or you bring it all in, and then it's divided by 10. That makes it very snappy. And then you could modulate this, or you could play with it live. Okay, so that's how you set up the dedicated VCF. Right now I'm going to take amp time. I'm going to make it longer just so we can hear a real smooth cut. Alright, going to turn the resonance all the way up. Check it out. Ha! I have it set to jump, or catch, not to jump, so I need to catch the resonance. Now it's going to turn all the way up. Ready? You guys hear that? It's self-oscillating. I'll sweep up. The pitch that you're hearing is coming off the cutoff knob, so as I move this around, it'll actually start to affect the pitch. And of course we could put some envelope on there. Create some laser blasts, and the laser blasts will get their time from this. Because this is taking the envelope, snappiness there, multiplying it or dividing it. Okay, we're going to turn the resonance down so it's just up a pinch though, because that's pretty insane. I'm going to turn the EG level all the way up, filter time all the way up, cutoff all the way up. I'm going to do a smooth filter down. The envelope is nice and tight, so it can give you some nice acid tones. If you increase the distortion on there, that'll squelch even more. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at the cutoff filter, it goes from 20K to 20 Hz, so it goes below audible. So if you cut it and there's no envelope happening, it should kill pretty much all audibility. I said that's a 1. No envelope. Can't even hear it. It's a lot like low pass gate, like you see in the modular world. You can still kind of hear it coming through because of the slope. It's a 24 decibel slope, but it's really catching most of it. If you are performing and you squash it down with this, you're really not going to hear anything. Here. See? Okay, so that's the VCF. There are some cool other things that go on with it though, and so we're going to want to take a look at them. So we're going to come out of this menu by hitting this button. Okay, so here we are on the set page. The set page has several important functions here that we're really going to want to take a look at. The first is VCO section. I want to cover set here because I really don't have anywhere else to contextually put it in the video, so we're going to cover the whole page. VCO contains glide and level, which is the amount, like depth of glide, right? So here, let's listen to the sequence. I'll take glide all the way off. And then I'm going to apply it to 100%. Putting it back to 29 like I have on the patch is a nice compromise. It gives you some of that rubbery bendability that really makes two oscillator sounds really nice because they kind of drift off against each other. But it doesn't go for so long that it loses tonality like 100%. Here's the level. It's literally volume. Okay. Also, VCA has a level on here. This is the amount of VCA. Again, this is going to be a lot like volume. Okay, both those out of the way now. Let's talk about VCF, because there is VCF track and filter FM on here. And this is cool. Do you remember earlier I said that it self-oscillates? Well, put track up and you'll be able to hear it. I turned the resonance all the way up. So now what's going to happen is, based on the note that is coming through here, keyboard tracking is going to open up the cutoff. Doing that will make this almost more like a sine wave hit. Let's hear it. I have it all the way down so you can hear it coming out now. You could also use a more tasteful version of that and just kind of spray it in there a little bit. And what this will do is it'll just open it up as you go up in frequency. If you hear the higher notes are opening the filter more. Okay, so that's cool. Gonna turn that down now. Next up is filter FM. Gonna turn this all the way up so you can hear it. So what this does is it oscillates the cutoff. This creates a really high overtone, but it doesn't affect a lot of what's passing underneath. Hear that really high note? Alright, so the EG level is getting a ping coming through. I've cutoff set to basically 0. By putting filter FM up, you're starting to hear some of the low pass come through, and that's because this is moving up and down. Basically, it's wiggling this really fast. Did you hear that? It sounded really awesome. It added a lot of edge to the filter. One more time. 62, 0. All right, we're gonna leave that on because it sounded so good. All right, next up, we're gonna go to FX1. This is the page that typically has your distortions, your S-curve, your foldback, but it also contains high-pass filter, cutoff, and resonance. The high-pass filter on it is digital, and it sounds awesome. Totally useful. You can modulate it by hitting this. Here's how the resonance sounds, pitched up. If you really want to get your bass going, put it at like 1, and then pitch up the resonance quite a bit. So it's cutting the lows underneath the high pass, but it's still pitching up the resonance a lot. There's one more trick that we really got to get into, and this is awesome. All right, so what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to go into the main menu by clicking here. We're going to go to custom target. We're going to make target M1, and we're going to do custom 1 high pass filter. It's number 7. This is the cutoff on the high pass filter. Okay, setting that up. When we go to modulator 1, there it is. You can assign anything through there. This came in 1.3, the third firmware release. and allowed you to greatly expand the number of modulation destinations. So we're going to pick high pass filter right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the modulator type to EG. So now it's an envelope filter. And then here's another thing that we had to do to get this going right. Click here, go to sync options, and set M1, which is modulator 1, to key. That means when a note hits, it's going to trigger it. So like your envelopes here, note hits, triggers the envelope. That's kind of what you want with this. Back it up. It's all set up correctly. So every time a note comes off the BeatStep Pro, it's going to trigger all this. I'm going to set the envelope to like nothing. I'm, however, going to crank the level. By the way, your modulator levels are bipolar, so you can go down if you want to invert polarity, or up. We're going to go all the way up. Now I'm going to start setting ADSR. Now I'm going to bring the level back down so it has some taste. And that's it. We really did just cover the filter. So we covered the cutoff, we covered the high pass, which is located within FX1, and we assigned it to an envelope using modulator 1 and the custom destinations. We also covered filter FM, which I really highly recommend that you use on your sound design, because it sounds awesome on it and it really adds edge. And we created a really modern bass tone just based off of, I mean, you basically saw me create it. Thanks for watching. Please hit share. Please hit subscribe. Appreciate it.